So throughout the year, I'm constantly watching movies and movies related to franchises for rankings and reviews, so I never get the time to actually watch TV shows other than Disney Plus Marvel stuff and Star Wars. Finally, after all of the Planet of the Apes and Garfields and Bad Boys and even some Pixar, I got some time to check out some new things. This video is about my newest obsessions, and that's in these two shows, The Bear and Abbott Elementary. Now in this video, I will be talking about both series season by season, and we'll also rank them and tell you which one I think is better to me. This is not going to be an in-depth review, this is just going to be some quick thoughts. With all that being said, let's get into it. Starting us off is The Bear Season 1. So I decided to check out this show because of my friend, and I gotta tell you, Season 1 isn't my favorite. I found it kind of confusing at first. I understood that this was a chef coming back to take over his brother's restaurant who died, but the dialogue was just so peculiar that some of that got lost. To me, scenes would just happen, and individually they were great, but just not hook worthy. Having seen all 3 seasons, I think the ensemble is great, but most of the time in this season, it just seemed like characters were yelling at each other. That's a testament to its chaotic filming style and fast-paced editing. The performances are all good and there are some laughs, but I wouldn't call it a comedy, nor did I see it as the Emmy champion. By the end, season 1 of The Bear was still trying to find its identity. 7 out of 10. Abbott Elementary Season 1 was the next show I decided to check out, and when people on Twitter said that this show was funny, they were not kidding. This show was freaking hilarious. Negatives out of the way, this, just like The Bear Season 1, was still trying to find its identity by the end. Quinta Brunson crafted a spectacular series that introduces a cast that you just want to spend time with. And the teachers all want the best for their students in the school. And you find by the end yourself having a new respect for teachers in all grades. From this season, I was hooked on this show. You know, my grandmother used to be a kindergarten school teacher. This show reminded me so much of her. But when I brought the show to her, she was like she didn't like it. That's just a little fun story behind the scenes that about my family. But my grandma just didn't like the show, which is so peculiar because everyone in the family was telling her to watch it. And she's just like, yeah, I checked it out and I didn't like it. It made no sense to her. 7.5 out of 10. Abbott Elementary Season 2 followed and excels to new heights. From the will they won't they storyline of Janine and Gregory, who, by the way, is ironically the funniest character in the show. They keep giving jokes to other characters. Gregory is the funniest character in the show without even trying. It also excels because the kids get some speaking lines in almost each episode, which I thought was just adorable. That we were able to kind of focus on some children too. Or just the fact that we get to spend more time with this great ensemble. Cheryl Lee Ralph deserved that Emmy, because her character becomes such a mother figure that her performance is not only incredible to watch, but also very nurturing. The writing in this season works because they know their formula and is able to stick with it. This season offers a better mix between the social commentary of underpaid teachers with the episodic sitcom that has a running storyline throughout the season, that being the romance between Janine and Gregory. We're also able to leave the school and show scenes within characters' houses, like Janine, who is given more of a 3-dimensional personality this season. In fact, every character gets depth. And lastly, with the season being very episodic, like the entire series, it continues the trend of being a nice comfort show to watch. I loved Season 2. It's gotta be a 9 out of 10. Abbott Elementary Season 3. Yeah, Season 1 hooked me that much that I binged the entire show. So Season 3 had a lot of hype for me going into it. Spoiler alert, but I thought Season 2 was the best of the show. It's the best that the show has ever been, and the jokes were just firing on all cylinders. So how was the actual season? How was Season 3? I've seen better Abbott Elementary seasons. This is by far the most mixed of the series for me, because while it continues to be hilarious and showcases some great chemistry from the cast, it doesn't have that special writing the second season did. I think the show excels at being mainly episodic and more likely than not comfort food. This season was more story based a lot of the time, with Janine joining the district and how that affects not only her, but the students and the school. It's all a natural progression, but where the season lost me was when it leaned more into the drama rather than having a mix of both like in season 2. Still very much comedic though. My biggest issue was that the will they won't they storyline took so long to actually progress until the end of the season. It started off with Janine saying she wants to give it a shot after saying no in the last episode of season 2, just for Gregory to curve her, then 4 episodes later he comes back. It just seemed like we were retreading the same thing over and over again. Season 3 is very welcoming, yes, because I love the show, but compared to the greatness that is season 2, it felt a little disjointed and flat, if you ask me. 7.5 out of 10. Alright, so next we have The Bear Season 2. So after a series-long hiatus, I decided to return back to this show to finally get to that teaser I've been watching since 2023.
I still love the name.
You don't remember the name? I bet you $1 million that you don't know the name.
Prepare to be out of $1 million, dude.
It was something about that teaser that made this show seem quippy, but also charming in a bit. So going into the season, I had some high hopes. This is one of the best TV show seasons I have ever seen. It goes above and beyond, delivering some very dramatic and thematic storytelling. Of course, you get the frantic energy and the fast-paced, loud arguments from the first season, but it's a little bit more accessible now. Characters are actually likable. This is the Dune Part 2 of The Bear. The episodes all lead up to this big moment of the restaurant finally opening after 10 episodes of them building and preparing it and preparing themselves. And to me, that was the best thing for the show. So we have more of a timeline, so each episode is pushing forward to the Bear's opening. There are also individual episodes, some about individual characters like Cousin, which is by far the best episode of the series to me, and I don't care what anybody says. In the Brazados, we get an individual episode about them, which was filled with a hell of a lot of drama. I also love that we get some nice cameos in this season. Whether you're talking about John Bernthal, Jamie Lee Curtis, or John Mulaney, it's nice seeing these actors just pop up, and it's not meant to be a big deal. They're just playing characters in the show. The intensity of the kitchen is really what got me this season. How they were able to edit and do fast cuts to make the kitchen life more stressful than it already is. I've worked in the kitchen during a high crowd period. The intensity is just like this. That's what the show does best, triggering the audience and making you have a respect for chefs and kitchen workers while also making you want to be one. I'm giving this season a 9.5 out of 10. And lastly, The Bear Season 3. It came out a couple of weeks ago, and after I finished Season 2, I got some time to sit down and think about where Season 3 could go, and well, it starts off strange. I didn't know if we were in the past or present, and to be honest, I still don't know, but I'ma just go with the past. This season felt like more of the same. If Season 1 was about getting the chefs ready and Season 2 was about getting the kitchen ready, Season 3 is about making the kitchen mainstream. Carmy wants to make it prestigious and loaded with reviews, and well, by the end, very little of that actually happens. The cast argues. We've seen that. The kitchen is getting stressful. We've seen that. They're out of spoons.
How the fuck are we out of teaspoons?
We've seen that. I'm not saying that it's terrible or bad, but I am saying that it got a little stale. We start flashbacking and the chronological timeline is just fragmented and broken. This season is very jittery and often bounces around too much for me, without a clear point storyline to anchor it. Season 2 did it best, a clear deadline to get the restaurant off its feet that allowed for additional storylines to go on, like Carmy and Claire, which never gets expanded on in this season. They don't even interact. Cousin finding purpose and flashbacks give context about the family's frantic dynamic. Cameos that happened this season felt organic, but some of them felt a little weird, like John Cena showing up. Still, I enjoy the show enough to show up for season 4. But as far as this season, it felt like a 1-hour special in between seasons. You know, nothing actually happens, but it's still cool to watch. 8 out of 10. Both of these shows are great in their own way. If I had to rank them, I'd say last place is The Bear Season 1. Then it's Abbott Elementary Season 1. Followed by both series Season 3, with The Bear Season 3 being a little bit better than Abbott Elementary Season 3. Lastly, in the top 2 is Abbott Elementary Season 2, being the funniest of these seasons, and in first place is The Bear Season 2, being the most satisfying of the seasons. It's not a comedy, and Season 2 shows that it's very much a drama. In terms of which show I think is better, it's hard to say. If I'm feeling bored, I want to watch Abbott Elementary. The comedic timing of its stellar cast works for me, and it's good comfort food. I can turn on any episode and just spend time with the teachers. If The Bear makes you want to work in the kitchen, this show makes you want to work as a teacher. It's charming, it's fun. Overall, it's my kind of show. But The Bear is my thing too. The intensity and frantic energy takes me back to my days working at the pizza rack. And yes, that was as frantic as the show. If you guys think that Chuck E. Cheese is not as frantic as The Bear, you're kidding yourself. Go work at your local Chuck E. Cheese on a Saturday. It is bad. The show also does a great job with showing relatable relationships and relatable flaws. Some people have mentally ill parents. Some people feel they have no purpose. And when these arcs are finally paid off, it feels satisfying. When Sydney gets to open the restaurant, it feels satisfying. When Cousin finds purpose, it feels satisfying. The Bear is the type of show you sit down with a glass of wine and just lose yourself, because it's able to suck you in. But Abbott Elementary does the same. For me, I think the latter is the better of the shows. That's because I am and will always be a sitcom guy. But for some reason, this sitcom, Abbott Elementary, just struck lightning in a bottle. Alright guys, that was it for this different type of video. Please comment down below your favorite season or your favorite show of both of these shows that I talked about, Abbott Elementary, The Bear. Comment down below what did you guys think of the new season of both shows, because they both premiered this year. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, please note that I am doing a Q&A, so if you are watching this video and you do like this video, comment down below your questions right now. All that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.